Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. If you're listening to this conversation on our audio platforms, please give us a 5-star rating, download this and other episodes. I am thrilled to welcome the next guest to our podcast today. He is an international photographer that will be making his U.S. debut with the innovative photography exhibit from July 15th to July 29th in Venice, California. Please help me welcome Lucas Shu to the podcast.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you so much, Lucas. It's an honor to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. So let's get started with our conversation, shall we?
Yeah, for sure.
So when did you get interested in photography, and how did that passion desire to pursue a career in the arts?
Um, this real actually goes way back to my childhood. My family stored there was like hundreds of negatives in a cabinet when I was little, and I would often like spend some time exploring those negatives, but by exploring them, I was actually destroying those negatives, cutting them into pieces or soaking them in some kind of juice. That was me being like unknown to the world, but actually trying to imitating what I saw from others doing. And I think one day, I think it was my seventh birthday, my parent gave me one of those like point and shoot film camera. Through that, I gradually realized that these pieces are a part of something to someone. Might be memory, might be celebration, or might just be something joyful to the creator. That was the time I got interested in taking pictures. And after I went to college, I first studied psychology. Um, I observed various people around me losing their original intentions due to like emotional breakdowns and all other like factors. And after like studying psychology for a couple of years, I started to realize that there are many things that bring despair and suffering, whether from the perspective of a counselor or a psychological researcher, I can only provide remedies after all of these things have happened. So as a result, I found myself falling into a state of extreme anxiety because I can't make it. And photography, or let's say imagery, started to become a way for me to engage with them, with these people, with the world. So I think psychology tends to focus more on the aftermath, but visual arts can transcend the limitation of time and space existing between people. So that's when I started to fall into the art of photography.
That's pretty cool. And like, I believe me, I'm one of the very few people that differentiated from my college agreement for broadcast journalism. That
Yeah.
I also work but I also work with at a nonprofit as well. So it's
Mhm.
definitely some. I do commend you for like at least having that attention, but also finding your passion through
Yeah.
that. And I bet you learned your lesson when your folks gave you that point and shoot camera, never to
Yeah.
destroy negatives again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So can you describe your approach to photography to my audience? Because many photographers have different approaches. So, what is your approach?
Uh, there are, like you were saying, there are many different ways to approach to photography these days, and I mean, we got phones that are able to make really good pictures, and uh, in my in my mind, photography is something that represents me. It's a language that I use to tell the stories to the ones that uh can resonate with them. I mean, I use a lot of stray portraits of the subjects that I photograph, and this traditional document style has been my approach to present my work to the audience all along. Uh, but I use phone digital cameras and film cameras to make pictures because I think it doesn't really matter like what kind of tools you use. What matters is just what you want to say to the audience. And so being truthful to myself is my approach to photography. And I hope my audience will be able to get away with some kind of emotion that keeps reoccurring in their life. So I guess that's what it matters to me as like whenever I think of a approach to photography. Yeah.
That's pretty cool because I can imagine my life without an iPhone. And in all honesty, I thought like when the iPhone was first announced, I was still using a flip phone
Uh-huh. Me
for
too.
with that amount of time, and it took horrible photos, or we didn't even have memory for that.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause it doesn't really like matter. Like I said, it doesn't really matter like what kind of tool you use, but like, every picture you take, it means something to you. So that's like what it matters. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what have been some of the challenges that you faced breaking into the professional world of the visual arts industry, and how did you overcome those obstacles?
Um, I think this is a really good question. Like as an Asian artist, this is a really like important thing and question for me to think about all the time. And when I was in grad school, one of my mentors was Dawu Bei. He's currently having a exhibition in Getty Museum. He has a he's a renowned black photo artist, but he keeps telling me this. I have to make art that represents me and me as a part of my community. So like I wouldn't say being an Asian artist is a like serious challenge, but it's urgent and important for the public to hear our voices. And what I have been doing is to have like Asian artists from all different industries in arts to to have like artist talk every once in a while in my social media account. This is really meaningful for those artists to actually like present their views and perspectives to the people who have never ever like even heard about it. So I think this is a challenge, but also something I'm trying it's not really obstacle, but like it's a challenge for me to bring more Asian artists to the world, including
And
me.
it's, yeah, I think, that's all about diversity. If you have one much of anything, it's basically a blank, it's basically a white canvas, and then it's like
Yeah.
basically having like you're supposed to order like you order a giant sundae or milkshake, and all of a sudden you receive a cup of just chocolate syrup.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's a good one.
Thank you. So, what have been some of your favorite locations to take your photographs, and why do they stand out?
Mm, I mean, LA is a it is a like a huge stage for photographers or artists. I moved to LA last summer from Chicago. This place is this place is really diverse and full of opportunities. And the opportunity of like potential things that trigger my interest. I live near to Venice Beach, so I have been exploring this area a lot since I moved here. And here, I think the most interesting thing is my hometown is right across the Pacific Ocean. It's on the it's my hometown city is on the coastal side in China. So when I stood on the beach here, I almost feel like I can see my hometown from here. I know it's a it's a metaphor and it's a little bit exaggerating, but to someone who lives thousands of miles away from home, this might be the best way to come from myself. And because of this nostalgic feeling, I love to just wander around the beach area and photograph people in it and think that I'm really close to my home and especially like feeling the vibe um here with these people and like connect to the feeling I had when I was in my hometown. So yeah.
That's pretty incredible because to feel like you can feel someone, like you feel connection from over that 5,000 miles away.
Yeah.
It's just it's just unreal. And not to mention, Venice Beach is a great location, and like
Yeah.
Los Angeles is a fabulous location. Like I'm currently talking to you from my apartment over in Park, Kansas. There are some good locations in the Kansas City metropolitan area to take
Mhm.
photos, but not as much as like a Los Angeles or New York.
Yeah.
And also, so like, what have you been to like any different parts of the Los Angeles community? Because I know not just Venice Beach, but there's tons. But you said it, it's an amazing canvas. Southern California, it's an incredible canvas. Like, do you have
Hmm.
you ever gone to the West Hollywood area, or like seen the Hollywood sign, or like have you gone over to any of any of Los Angeles's boroughs?
Yeah, I mean, I've been walking and like exploring those areas a lot, but like uh to me as a photographer, I need to like just folk like if I'm obsessed to one place, I gotta like go there a lot, back and forth over and over again, and that's like why Venice Beach area is like my uh most popular site for me at this point. But I went to West Hollywood and like um also the south side of LA, and just trying to explore different things and different vibe, which is really, I mean, the city is too big like for me to to like see them at once, but definitely gonna, yeah.
It reminds me so much of New York, one of my favorite cities in the world, New York City. There's
Hmm.
so many boroughs. There's five boroughs, but so many
Yeah.
subdivisions, such as Little Italy, or like the Upper West Side in Harlem.
Hmm.
It's just you can't just do that in like I'm grateful and blessed. I lived when I lived in New York. I was able to hit all five boroughs. But like in
Yeah.
Los Angeles, it could take you years to do all of them.
I think so. Yeah, it's I mean, I've been to New York. I know like it's New York is more like a um cubicle, like it's the division is like block by block, and like when I'm here in LA, it's like everything just the roads just like that diverge to the other way like all of a sudden, and like that's like something I need to get used to after I move here, and it's gonna take some time. Yeah.
And you said it perfectly too. The coasts are so the top two most population towns in the United States, New York and Los Angeles, are so diverse and
Hmm.
so two opposite ends. Like in New York, it's basically like everything is uniform. In Los Angeles, everything is like dragged out.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. That's it's incredible. So well, while we're talking about California, let's talk about your United States debut with the innovative photography exhibit that's coming this July in Venice, California. So can you describe your action to my audience when you found out that you'll be hosting your first exhibit in the United States?
I think uh if I think first is it is really meaningful to me as a young Chinese artist, having this solo exhibition in the States. And most important thing is I finally get the chance to share my emotion and experience and stories to the US audience. And there are a lot of international students studying the States, and I mean a lot of them are Chinese kids. I've spent my last decade here, and the society can, I mean, that this country and people can deny it, like, because we are here as a part of this country, and you couldn't see us as like you could see us as like a foreign students or immigrants, whatever, like. But now it's time for me to represent this group and tell the true story to the people who care and want to listen about it. So I think it's really important, especially like my project is um about this community, about this group. So yeah, it's it's definitely something meaningful and important for me, for us, and for people who care about us. Yeah.
That's incredible, Lucas. So how long, like how many pieces are you submitting for this exhibit? Like, because to my imagination, there's like so much only an artist can give, but at the same time can hold in the future.
Yeah, I'm actually some I have almost like 70 pictures submitted. And we gotta like edit and like have some of the pictures out, but like have something included in the show. Yeah, I been making these photographs since, let me see, 20 28 17. So it's been almost like 6 years. I I I have two different projects about international students. One is like from a bystander's view. It's like totally just like a project of portraits of international students and like getting to this community and learn about their life. But this one is from my own point of view, and it's a it's more conceptual, more experimental as a photo, like for the audience to look at. So yeah.
I gotta say, that's really cool that you're going to choose experimental photography. Now, are you looking at different when you talk about experimental? Are you talking about elements like a 3D, like for example, where you bring something out, like have like an image, and it comes like at least a couple inches out of the photo, or like it jumps out of it.
I thought about this actually, but my approach was to like to maintain the way of traditional photography, the way of like presenting these pictures are still like 2D, still like still images, but like I'm trying to use a different visual language instead of like traditional uh way of documenting the life I'm having here. Um, yeah.
That's pretty cool because the thing is, it's like it's showcase seeing those images. Like I love photography exhibits, and I bet that you have like it's very cool that you have a story to tell with it and like a roadmap. Have you started laying out those pieces in that roadmap to guide the visitors?
Yeah. So when we think of a photo project, we would ne like always think that if this project has like a storyline, a timeline or something, but this one, the name of this project is Right Above the Sea. It's I was inspired by The Catcher on the Rye, the book, and it's more like a stream of consciousness way to to tell the story, but the photographs themselves they're um vague. They are really vague. They are not like a clear story, and they they do not follow some like straight timeline or let's say it's not linear. It's just um see it more like a poem. It's just like paragraph by paragraph, and it has its flow from the previous sentence to the next, and the pictures are like that flows one from the to another. So that's like the project I want to present to the audience.
I think you would have a wonderful opportunity to do that. And let's see what one of my second to last questions I have for you is why should why should my audience in the Southern California area go to this exhibit?
I think not just like um Southern California audience, but like I think it would be great if more people from all over the places can come over and then see it. But definitely like if we say Southern California audience come over and see this exhibition, I wanted to show my purpose that people like us are here and people like us representing a part of this country um, actually doing something and making their living here. That's and I'm trying to like just showing this community and group to the audience, like I said before. And I think anyone who sees it would care more about us and listen to our voices. That's my that's my purpose.
And I hope that people do. I really hope people do.
Yeah.
Lucas, where can I find more information? Where can I find information about this exhibit? And where can I find you on social media?
You can find me on my Instagram. It's Lucas Xu AF, and my personal website is www.lucasxu.com.
Awesome, Lucas. So, guys, if you miss an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, visit our channels on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Deezer, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Spreaker. Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOB ELYACHAR. Are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Jacob Elyachar, JACOB ELYACHAR. And guys, just to let you know, the blog that started it all, the website that started it all, jakes-shake.com is turning 12 in August. So you want to find more interviews, more music reviews, recaps on America's Got Talent and The Masked Singer, head over to jakes-shake.com. Once again, jakes-shake.com. Lucas, thank you so much for taking time in your schedule to talk with me. I'm very excited about this exhibit, and I really hope that people pack the house for this.
Thank you, Jacob. Thanks for the opportunity.
You're so welcome, guys. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, have a great one, everybody. Goodbye.